Welcome. This is the Appalachian Alliance, and this is where two hillbillies talk about Survivor. Fellow hillbilly Mitchell Church, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well, Mr. Riser. I've got a cough going on that just won't go away. 'Tis the season for allergies here in the Appalachian Mountains, and everything's starting to bloom, and my nose and eyes are just in rough shape.
The red buds are a popping right now everywhere, which is an indication that spring is on the way.
Yeah, spring is here
in the holler.
But we got some cold weather coming, so winter's not quite over.
Yeah, I hear it's gonna snow.
Yeah,
maybe not enough, to cancel school or anything. I don't believe. No. Anyway. Let's go on. Hold on. Is that a Woody's hat?
Yes.
Okay. Now that is a defunct gas station / restaurant / hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Here, in Wyoming County, and I'm envious of the Woody's hat. I like it.
Thank you, man. Had a lot of good memories with my dad. He'd be covered in coal dirt, getting off work and picking me up and taking me to Woody's and chowing down, man, and just talking to me and stuff. And that's the Southern Appalachian way of life.
It is. I spent 1999 going into 2000 with my wife at the Woody's Hotel.
Heck yeah.
We were waiting on all the lights to go out and Y2K to start.
All the technology to go away.
Yeah. So those of you who are old enough to remember that. We were waiting on I
was terrified, man. I was little though. I was terrified.
Well, I was newly I think I was 21.
Wow.
I can't remember.
And it's
Let's do math real quick. 79 to 2000 to 99. What
that's 20 years.
20. Okay. Well, I was illegally drunk. I vaguely remember a friend of mine, Jeff Morgan. Okay, if you know Jeff Morgan, he dropped by with his mom and a big bottle of Goldschlager.
Oh God!
And so,
yeah.
But I digress. This is not about that.
No.
So let's move on to Survivor. It's episode 6.
We might need a clap to.
What to start over?
Maybe edit that out a bit or something.
Well, let her fly.
Let her be. Let it be.
I was a young man.
I hear you. Well, you got. Speaking of that, what you got in that mason jar there, Slick?
It's just water. This is water.
Yeah, mountain water.
It's the afternoon. I'm and I haven't had a drink in a long time. It's been
me too.
Over a year. I'm too old to drink. I wake up like wasted, and I can't do it. I can't do it.
I had to quit. Speaking of, we're on a Survivor podcast. I do love when they freak out over seeing beer.
And listen, if I'm ever blessed enough to be on Survivor, I am never drinking. I'll act like I'm drinking. Okay. But I'm not going to, because your body is already probably dehydrated and malnourished. And then they give you alcohol on top of food.
Yeah.
And you don't process that food as well if you're drinking alcohol.
Well, I always thought if you get drunk and spill the beans about a secret or an alliance or an idol or something, it's 6 beers would cost you $1 million,
Right. I mean, there's that, but still, if I'm starving, right? Which is pretty much what they do these days. They just put you on a beach and they're like, okay, have fun.
Yeah.
They don't give you rice, nothing, because it's a shorter game, right?
Yeah.
And so you're just sitting out there with nothing on your stomach, and then you show up at the sanctuary and there's beer.
Yeah,
and people just drink 3 or 4 beers just like that.
Yeah.
And then, you're completely hammered.
Yeah.
You know, and then you eat a whole bunch. And,
Zach Galifianakis on The Hangover. Blacked out.
Blacked out. Yeah. I have no idea what I said.
That'd be my problem.
Which is a problem to me anyway. I'll just talk and I won't even remember what happened.
That's when the redneck would come out in his tongue. Yeah. It's a true Appalachian redneck.
Hey, Bowles, hand me another beer there, will you? You know? And then we like, who is this guy?
Back in my day.
Yeah, I was at Woody's knocking back a couple oat sodas,
But this was a great episode though, and it on one hand, I will say, speaking on gameplay, this episode is very it's very much their Survivor episode, because you have Group A that want to play an honest game, which is wild to me. Which, if it happens, that's cool. But then you have a very same other group of people over here, like backstabbing and just hustling, and it's a game. Like, there's more to it than that. So that's the interesting take on the merge.
And that's a novel thing these days. You haven't heard anybody say, I'm gonna play a clean game honorably and all of that. That's like Coach Rupert. In that vein. And I think they picked up people just to see what that would look like in the new era, because a lot of the new era players don't play that way.
No, it's very like, I remember even back to the Millennials versus Gen X season where the voting blocks first appeared. It's very much voting blocks in this new era. It's like, okay, which 5 can I get to the end, or which 5 can I get, or which 6, et cetera. Yeah.
Not even to the end. They're
let's get through this tribal and then worry about it later. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't know who's going to vote with you week to week, episode to episode. I mean,
well, we're seeing that with Say and Mary, like they were rivals and enemies and chasing each other after idols and stuff.
Right.
And now they kind of have a respect for each other's gameplay, and they may be working together. I don't know.
We'll see. So, of course, we open up with Sai being upset at somebody. Every time she goes to tribal, she comes back and she's mad. Right? I guess, she has been getting votes. I kind of get that.
Well, to me, man, it's that more mentality of being just left out. I think that's what it is. Like, not only did she get votes, but she's completely blindsided after almost every tribal because she's not in the loop, and she gets pissed.
Yeah,
which I would be too. I mean, put yourself in her shoes. Like, everybody told me plan A or B, and then y'all pull Z. Like you skipped the outfit on me. I'm pissed.
Yeah. And one of these times she's going to be completely left out, and her torch is going to get snuffed.
Probably.
Right?
That's coming soon.
That's going to happen. So Mitch is the one who reveals that he voted for Sai, and good for Mitch. It's better to admit something like that than to be outed.
Yeah. Or lie about it, and then your trust is broken. And in this game, trust is everything. So you got to, I agree, Tom. I agree. Just to let's air this out now. Tomorrow's a new day.
Right.
Yes, I voted for you. Get over it. You're going to vote for me.
I thought we were going this way.
Yes.
I was as blinded as you are.
Yeah.
Right. And that's pretty much what he said. And she was like, well, hey, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, this is the Mergatory. episode. The new era is known for the Mergatory. You've got to earn your buff these days. You don't just get merged and everybody eats. They've
always cut one person right before merge, and that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And man, what a crappy way to go out right before merge. Like, that would haunt me.
Yeah.
If I was on Survivor and I made it just like that far, but I didn't get to make the merge and like do your individual game, that would haunt me. They should bring back players who have been cut like right there, just to give them a chance of like, all right, get to the end game.
Yeah. So, Sai can't wait to hug Mary, right? She's just like, oh, Mary, I'm so glad that we're together, right? But Mary, she says she has knots in her stomach thinking about playing with Sai again. And she's like, I want to rid myself of this tribe. I'm only wearing green because I can't be naked on national TV.
Yeah.
I mean, what? The guy they totally left me. He was naked every week. He was naked every episode. What was the winner of Survivor 1?
John?
No.
This is horrible.
Yeah. We're going to get our Survivor cards pulled.
Remote. Yeah.
Anyway, the winner of Survivor 1, and then he came back a couple of times. He tried the naked thing again, and got naked at a challenge, and it ended very bad. I can't believe I can't remember the guy's name. I see his face. And
I remember I loved old Survivor when like chicks would get, topless for peanut butter. I mean,
that was single Jeff, right?
Yeah. Probes, help us out now. Come on now, Probes, help us out now. 13-year-old Mitchell loves Survivor for that reason. I mean,
Richard Hatch. I had to Google it. I couldn't just sit here. Yeah, of course, Richard Hatch. He was winner of Survivor 1. He was the only one that actually played with any strategy.
Yeah.
In that season, which nobody knew how to play Survivor. So some people will play in the challenge, some will not. Of course, there's a advantage hidden somewhere.
Yeah,
wasn't hidden very well. It was just in the middle of the jungle.
Field. Yeah,
and Sai beats out Chrissy. Charity beats out Charity for the advantage. Outruns her, outflanks her, and man, would things have worked out differently for Charity had she been just a little quicker? I don't know. Maybe. So
I think so.
Joe and David bonded over drinking a gallon of chocolate milk a day. And and these are the two buffest guys on the beach.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're missing.
Yeah.
Mitchell, is the gallon of chocolate milk a day. Maybe that's
I'll just cut out all carbs and just do like chocolate milk turkey sandwiches or something. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, but Shaheen's like, he does have beautiful pecs, so maybe there's something to it. Anyway, Eva, Joe, Shaheen, Kyle, and David, they're going to be the power alliance here.
Yeah.
They're going to bring back, the strong players, and they're going to play with honor and integrity. God bless the USA.
Yeah, America. You got to love that idea.
Right.
That's old Survivor, man. This is we're in the new era. Yeah. Someone, and I'll tell you who it's going to be.
We all know.
Yeah.
We all know that Kyle is in a backdoor alliance with Camilla.
Yeah. And Kyle, I don't know
how long it's going to take him.
Man, if those are your two possible winners right there.
yeah, if nobody figures this out,
Yeah.
which I think somebody's going to figure it out here soon, right? They've got to figure it out soon. I mean, how could you not? But that's the dream is to have an alliance with somebody who nobody knows
about
that you're in alliance with them, and then you
get sucked into another alliance, or or that person's coming to you like
the other person's in the opposite alliance.
Because see, that is your information highway, and in Survivor, you must have information. The more information you have, the more powerful you are. Even if it's gossip, you could still use that to your advantage.
Oh yeah,
and again, I think that's what Say is mad about, is that she doesn't have that person. Like she doesn't have that one person.
Right.
So anyways, back to the challenge. I tell you, I felt for Cedric in this challenge, man. I did.
He's struggling. He obviously didn't train for this.
Bro was struggling, and I feel sorry for him, man. I did. And he's a surgeon. Like, you think surgeons are fit and stuff, but man, and maybe he is. Maybe he just had a bad day, but man, I think he cost him that challenge. He even said,
sure. And he knows he cost him that challenge. But the one thing that I noticed was, and people online are crediting Mary for this action, but I saw Joe doing it first, but he didn't do it as gracefully, right? He got under that mud and pulled himself, by the rungs.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. But Mary kept her face up out of that mud and just slid under there like
she was gone.
Butter. You know?
She's gone like a crawdad, son. She's gone.
Yeah. She just slid on that mud right through there and kept her face, without all the mud in her eyes and all that. Like I felt for a couple of those guys because they were trying to clear the mud from their eyes.
Yeah, how do you compete like after this? I can't see. Now I'm costing time because I have to wipe my face, or I can't run blind. I'm sorry. I look at both of us. Look what we're wearing. Like that can't happen.
and I would have contacts in, but you get mud in your eye, those contacts are going to come out.
Exactly.
At least one of them.
Yeah. Right. And you're going to be blind for 26 days.
Yeah. Well, and I hope that they let you bring more than one set of contacts.
I don't know, man. They says Jeff is brutal, so I don't know.
I assume that, that's the deal, but who knows? And there's always a puzzle at the end of these physical challenges. And so if you're like holding one eye closed, trying to that ain't gonna work.
No.
So yeah, Cedric struggles in the challenge. Joe goes down and is like, walk on me, and he still can't get up the challenge. And it definitely cost him, and it got close there at the end. At least the edit told us it got close. Who knows whether it actually did. A lot of times I've heard from former survivors that sometimes they'll edit these challenges a little bit craftfully to make it look like they're closer than they really are. So I don't know whether that happened or not, but
I noticed it was weird because Jeff didn't say we got a challenge, and when Jeff says that, it's usually like, oh, it's live, right. Like it's not like
but he did say that they were coming back, and they did a little bit.
They did. They did. They did.
So, Purple pulls it out. David and Camilla solved the puzzle, and Charity, Joe, Cedric, Shaheen, and Eva will not eat, and that's awful.
Yeah,
I hate that.
My heart went out to Shaheen.
Everybody needs the tribe merge feast.
Yeah. My heart went out to Shaheen when he was like, cheese sticks, like mozzarella stick. I'm like, no, that would be me. I wouldn't be crying because I'm not in the merge. I'd be like, God, just feed me, Like, give me cold beer and some Monty Sticks, boys.
Yeah. So they had the challenge where they had to hold the pole and have
very hard challenge
top, and it was kind of a showdown.
Yeah, it was a battle, man. That was awesome. That was a great challenge.
Yeah.
It was a battle. And that gave me hope about this honorable gameplay alliance, because that challenge, it was a battle. Like they duked it out. It wasn't like, oh, I'm giving up. Are you guys good? Or can we make a deal like we've seen? It was like, nope, pure endurance. They
gutted it out. Gutted it out. And David with a kind of a weird strategy, just looking forward.
But man, just think, like, he's just trying not to breathe and not, maybe he was just focused on something. I thought about that. I thought, man, that's a great way to do that,
Yeah. It's just he couldn't see that he was out of, his pole was leaning to the front, and some of his friends tried to warn him that we're on the bench, like, hey man, you're moving, but he didn't move. And Kyle and Star with the showdown, and Kyle pulls it out. He's the sleeper here.
But Kyle's the sleeper, but Star finally got to step up to the plate and show what she can do, which was awesome.
This was a breakout episode for Star.
Yes, it was.
I saw that, she came to Cedric and, tried to talk to him, and, he was down, of course, because he lost the challenge for him.
Yeah.
He let everybody down on his tribe, and
she just pep talked him up, man. That's great.
Yeah. And that's straight from the locker room in a basketball game, right? She's like, hey, everybody misses a three. That's how it is. Everybody has a bad game, and we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Everybody loves you. You're a good guy. We know, we know who you are.
Well, he's scared he's going home, and what a great, friend. And I really appreciated Star for that. And, a lot of things she's done. Star's, she acts tough, and she is tough, but she's got a great personality, man. She does,
Yeah, and she did that little dance coming up to the voting booth, and drops the pin, and Star. I'm coming around to Star. I wasn't a big Star fan until now, but
her beginning game wasn't that. The beginning of her game wasn't. She had the puzzle and couldn't figure it out, and people were, which that could have been me, that could have been you.
Sure.
Like I'm not good at puzzles.
Yeah. Well, and you're not hitting on all cylinders out there.
When you're starving,
Yeah. You're like a V8 that's just got two cylinders running.
Yeah.
Just barely, and you're out of gas almost. And it's
yeah, and you're touching 17 miles an hour, just thinking, I can get home, get home.
It's just, can I just make it? I just want to make it.
Yeah.
So, your brain's not functioning at 100%. You might get 25 or something, especially if you haven't been to the sanctuary or gotten a decent meal in a week. It definitely messes with your head and your body, of course.
Yeah.
So Charity is floating Say, right?
Yeah.
Chrissy brings up Eva, and Say is like, hey, because they have a little powwow at the merge feast, those that got to eat. Say is like, anybody with an idol just got to go, and I don't blame her for that.
Yeah,
that's the game, right?
Yep.
The Power Alliance here is thinking Charity, and nobody really likes Charity but Mitch.
Yeah,
right?
That's his number one.
Yeah, Mitch is her only friend, really. In the whole shebang. So
when you see someone just running around causing chaos,
yeah,
I think that's where the honesty and the Power Alliance is bro, let's not let this happen. Let's not let, I even heard someone say, let's do an easy vote before we get at each other.
Right.
That's what how many do they have, Tom? 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 people on an island. Yeah, who do we not like? Okay.
And they started with 18, right?
Yeah.
They're merging real early.
Yeah.
It seems like to me.
Yeah, but that's herd mentality. Let's get everybody together. Okay, who don't fit in the herd? All right, you're gone.
And people have the perception that charity is being fake. And when you get that perception, people don't trust you.
Yep.
Because they can't trust what you say at any moment.
Yeah.
Right. If you're
telling you the truth and you just since you don't like her, you're like, man, she's lying to me. She ain't telling me, ain't no way she tell me that,
Yeah. Yeah. So. And if she's going to be fake, just hanging around, the camp, then, you can't trust her. So now this tribal, I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. They start talking about dog parks, dinner parties, and Jeff starts dancing. He's doing the bossa nova.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. In Club Condo, what is Club Condo? Did you understand that at all?
No.
Maybe this is a rich folks thing where they have parties at condos and they call it Club Condo. I don't know.
I don't know. Ain't no party.
We'd have
party, baby.
What's that?
I said ain't no party like a trailer park party, baby.
Well, that's what I was about to say. We have Club Double Wide.
Yeah.
That's about as fancy as we get around here.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to have a party in a single wide, but I've been there. It's mostly outside,
Yeah.
You show up at a single wide, most of it's outside.
Yeah, and they're burning something.
But
anyways, 13 people, weird tribal, very weird tribal. What was Eva's comment? Why does everything look like seashells or something?
Garlic.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And there was a shot of some kind of structure that did look like a giant bulb of garlic. Yeah.
That's what Melinda said. She's like, well, that does look like garlic.
Yeah, right.
You can tell she's craving garlic. That'd be me at tribal, man, look at cheeseburger building over.
I would bet that that Eva is the visual type of neurodivergent.
Yeah.
Right. If you've seen the Temple Grandin movie, have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She entirely thinks in pictures.
Yes.
Entirely. And I do a lot of that. And that's why I'm pretty good at what I do, is that I'm a visual learner. I can process things visually. When I'm reading something, I see it visually. When I imagine something, I see pictures. I see video, right?
Yeah.
I see when I'm reading a book, I'm directing the film.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Same here. I'm the same way. So, and I'm a visual learner as well. I can read the books, but if I see it, I know it, and that's why I love watching videos on stuff, because it's just a different format of learning, Right. But
give me a YouTube video and I'll change the transmission in a 57 Chevy, and I'm not a mechanic, but if you show me how it's done and it looks the same, then I can figure it out.
Yeah.
But the way the votes go, Cy, Charity, Cedric, which weird out of the blue Cedric vote, Cy, Charity.
Yeah, I wonder who did that. I didn't.
Yeah. That's
that
weird.
Was such a curveball. I think that's someone playing mind games with Cedric to make him paranoid. That's what I thought, because it was so random when they said Cedric's name. Because I keep count for my kids. I'm like, okay, this person is one vote, this person is one vote.
Right.
But then I'm having to use big broke toe for poor Cedric down here. And I'm like, is he getting any other votes? No. Okay, screw it.
Right.
So
and maybe that's Mitch. Maybe that's Mitch
who
was left out of everything because they know that Mitch is Charity's partner.
Yeah. So
whoever
threw Cedric could have saved someone,
Yeah.
They could have went to deadlock. They could, I mean, that Cedric vote really, kind of opened up opportunities to mess with him, but at the same time, it could have been, rocks or whatever,
Well, there's 13 of them, right?
Yeah.
There's 13 votes. I don't think anybody doesn't have their vote at this point. So I have 13 votes down here, whether or not
it's 13. Yeah.
Whether or not they were actually 13 or not, that's what I had in my notes here. And Charity is gone. And I watched Tombstone the other day, so I thought, well, bye.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big Charity fan.
I wasn't either. I didn't trust her.
I didn't either. I
didn't trust her.
And I heard that she blamed going home here, on the fact that people didn't want to vote Eva because she was autistic.
Oh.
Which I'm sure she's getting plenty of heat for that.
Well, yeah.
Which it may be accurate, but
what a pansy thing to say, man. Like,
why would you say that?
Like, you lost, okay?
Yeah.
There's no, it has nothing to do with autism or nothing of that. You suck at Survivor and you lost, okay?
Yeah. Right.
Like, don't bring up personal stuff. That's bullshit, man. I'm sorry. That's wrong.
Yeah, sure. And I'm sure she's getting lots of heat for it. And, maybe she deserves it.
I would say so. That's messed up, man. It'd be like me getting voted off and saying, "Oh yeah, you voted off the only left-handed. You kept the only left-handed person on the track." That's so stupid.
I'm the only hillbilly here. They voted me off because I have an accent.
By God, Keith made it far, son.
That's our boy Keith. Promo. Of course, Kyle and Camilla are set to make big moves because nobody's figured them out yet.
Yep.
And Camilla says, we're going to frame Shaheen.
Yep.
Which is always interesting and surprisingly easy to do, it looks like.
Yeah, well,
frame somebody for something on Survivor.
And I'll tell you this, where do you think that comes from? That comes from her sitting there watching Shaheen go through his bag. So that made it personal to her. And now she's like, okay, she's done figured out a way to get him out because she didn't like that kind of gameplay.
Turnabout is fair play.
Yep, it is. Right? And that's where my mind went, Tom.
Yeah.
That's immediately I'm like, man, this is payback for going through his bag in front of her.
Yep.
Yeah. And game on. I respect that. I do. I mean,
Kyle,
you don't go through my buddy's stuff. You don't go through my buddy's stuff. I don't go through my buddy's stuff. You sure don't go through my buddy's stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
and we'll see what happens if they get caught. One of them's going home, right? Because that's a risky move. That's risky, man.
Yeah.
If you set somebody up and then everybody finds out that you set them up, then it's that's a death note, right? You're gone, one or the other of you, depending on who wins.
Your social game, your social game would be done. You would have to make it to the end to explain why you did what you did,
right?
Because no one wants to hear it until then,
right?
They want you, so. It'll be I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this. This is a great season.
It is a great season.
Great season of Survivor.
Yeah. The casting is perfect. I mean, if I don't like you, I kind of hate you. And that's the way you want Survivor, right?
Yeah, man, because people hated Jerry on Survivor. Like she's Black Widow. Like she was hated, man. And my mom loved her. My mom like she was like, "That's how you do it, baby." Like that's Survivor. That's this game. But in this season, I think you're right, Tom. This season's casting has hit individuals more at home than any before.
Yeah.
And it's a great, I'm looking forward to future Survivor. I really am. This season and the next one coming. Like this is good Survivor years. We went through the, COVID and all that. And the game's shorter, but by making the game shorter, it's a lot more interesting. Because let's be honest, back in the day, an alliance formed, and every episode they was just picking off people. That got old. So
it had to evolve.
Well, and for those people trying to bring that style of gameplay back, the pure, honest game players, it'll be very interesting to see if old Survivor mentality can last in the new era. It'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens.
I know.
I'm excited. I'm thinking either Mitch, because Mitch is way out of box here. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that was Charity's number one. Or if they set up Shaheen.
Yeah.
And people buy it.
Or if Say just pisses everybody off, which is an option. Or somebody could just do something completely random and, get that Cedric vote in, and then Cedric's running around paranoid, which makes everybody paranoid, which it's by then, it might be one of those episodes where it's like we've seen 7 names thrown out in 5 minutes, so who knows? I'm excited.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. You got anything else?
No, Jeff Probst, we love you, buddy.
You're the man, Jeff. All right. Well, the holler has spoken, y'all. We'll see you next week.